like how? Like, let's talk about it first. Let's talk about it. Like, how did it save your life?
I mean, there's many ways life insurance can save your life. I mean, being able to actually be able to retire with life insurance money, actually to borrow from your policy whenever you come on hard times, coming in handy in the most crazy times of need. Whether it's an emergency where your house burnt down and you needed some money to move, or your tires got flat, you need to borrow money from your policy, or you're getting ready to retire and you don't know how to retire, or even having a 401k and being able to use that money, put it into an annuity, a life insurance product, which will pay you out for the rest of your life and gain you interest. So you're making money on your retirement money. So there's many, many ways life insurance will save your life.
So are we gearing towards our future, or is that how is it saving more of our future? If that's the case,
It's
right?
everything.
So let's talk
It's
about
the
that.
future.
Like,
It's protecting the future.
uh,
It's protecting the future, and it's protecting currently. It's protecting the now and the future going forward because we can't go backwards. So it's all about
right.
today and for tomorrow and for down the line.
Got you. All right, cool. All right. So we're gonna get right into it. Hold on one second. Let me add this to the.
All right, can you hit play?
Yeah.
And when I tell people that I will be retiring a millionaire by the time I'm 40, they think I'm joking. Like I haven't run the numbers, but I have, and I'm actually on track. The average retirement age in the UK is almost 70, and society has normalized working all your life and waiting until then to be able to do the things you actually want to do. And most people don't realize that you can actually choose when you retire as long as you can afford to do it. I've actually made a decision that I want to retire by 40 and become work optional so I don't have to work. And that's when I discovered the Financial Independence Retirement Early Plan. And the whole goal with this plan is to build enough wealth so that your assets pay for your life passively. So you don't actually have to work anymore because you can rely on your investments to pay for your lifestyle. And for me, that means focusing on three things at this stage of my life. The first one is practicing conscious spending, which means I'm only spending money on things that really matter to me, and I'm cutting back aggressively on things that just don't add to my life. And this allows me to save and invest without feeling deprived or having to be stingy or super frugal, because I'm able to do these things whilst also living a lifestyle that I genuinely love. And then the second thing is increasing my earning potential. And I've done this throughout my corporate career by focusing on high income skills, gaining certifications, negotiating, upskilling, and even outside of my corporate career, I've built a profitable personal brand that helps me also generate income, which I'm currently focused on full time. All of these things help me to earn six figures yearly. And then also investing in assets. And this part is key because assets not only go up in value, but they also generate income. So I invest in things like property, stocks and shares, my own skills, and my business. Once the passive income from these assets cover my bills and my lifestyle, I'll be officially financially independent. I won't have to work for money anymore. And for me, based on my maths, if I carry on going with what I'm doing right now, I'm going to reach this point at 40 years old. And I'll be able to retire and stop working because I don't have to anymore, or keep working because I choose to, not because I have to.
Yeah, so I love that. She's planning to be able to retire at 40 and starting it off with a life insurance policy to help drive that situation. Unfortunately, I'm already 40. So I can't turn back the hands of time. You know what I mean? But no, life insurance policies really can help you at every stage of your life. It can be an investment. It can be something that comes in handy no matter where you're at. Meaning, if you're, 20 years old, how can life insurance save your life or change your life? Just like a 401k, you can have one of those life insurance policies, invest in it. It's super affordable, and you could borrow from it just in case a rainy day happens. Meaning that you can be working at a job at 20, get a policy, 22, 23, just like a 401k, you moving into a new apartment or you came on hard times, or you lost your job, and now you can use a life insurance policy to borrow money from it. And guess what? No tax penalties. It's not considered income. So in that emergency situation, you can borrow like $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 from that policy, maybe even more, 5, 10, depending on how much you put into it. And it helps save your life literally in that situation. And I don't know about you. In my 20s, those are the hardest times to survive in the world because pockets are tight, whether you're going to college or you got a regular job, you're just trying to learn how to navigate life. Having one of these policies comes super in handy at the end of the day.
Oh no, absolutely. Absolutely. I noticed one thing she said. She said she wanted to retire at 40, right? That's an early time to retire. Like that's like now for us, right? But think about it like this. If she wanted to retire at 40, I don't even know if she stated her age. But if she didn't state her age, if she wanted to retire at 40, that would imply the things that she listed, she would have to like really achieve those goals. Like I wouldn't say really fast, but in a short time span. So my question is, how much money would you need to retire at age 40? The average lifespan is 70, 75. So you have 35 years of passive income that you have to have in order to retire at age 40. How much money would you need to retire at age 40? If you know what I'm saying? Like that's the real thing. Like if you really think about that, like at age 40 years old, you want to retire. How much money do you have to have? Whether it's passive, you're getting a certain amount of money per year, or you have a large lump sum of money that's going to last you for the next 40 years, 30 to 5.
Yeah, I mean, to answer that question, you know, the go-to statement, accurate wage.
Yeah.
So it comes down to your current lifestyle. What do I mean by that?
Mm-hmm.
If you're a person that makes $50,000 a year and you're comfortable with $50,000 and that's where you're at, and you said 35 years old, so that means you'd have to average making $50,000 a year for 35 years. Got a calculator. Right. That means you need $1.7 million to retire comfortably if you're making $50,000 a year. So what does that look like for that particular type of person? That means that you're going to have to get one of these policies at an early age, preferably as soon as you can, 18 if you're an adult starting off, or if you're a parent, you're getting your kid one of those policies from when they're like 3, 4, 5 years old, early in the game. Because guess what? By the time they're actually 40, they will have that type of money. 40, 50 years old, if you have a parent, it's some of these policies where you could dump $200, $300 into them a month, and by the time they're 40, they will have over $1 million to pull out. So it's doable if you're the parent. Now, if you're an adult, 18, you might have to dump $200, $300 a month into it to be able to retire with that. But the point is, that's a reasonable cost. If we're being honest, let's look at it, Kay. You know, look at it from a female aspect. I'm pretty sure hair and nails cost about $300, $400, and somebody comment or something a month. So if you cut back on that, you know, alone and put that money in there, you can get all the hairdos you want when you're 40 plus. I'm just saying.
That's funny. Like, that's funny because, like, well, we know that's not happening. We know, you know, shorty's got to get their hair did. It's happening. You know, it is what it is, right? But I think the more important thing is what she said earlier was budgeting. Now we all make, you know, time and money for what we want to make money for and time for. So I think that it's all about budgeting and allocating your money into the right places so that you're never in a situation to where you never have nothing. Because I don't care how much money someone makes. If you make $1 million and you spend $1 million, you have nothing. So it's not really about how much a person is making. One of the key things she said is that she's saving and she's budgeting, right? And I think that's super important when it comes to retirement because you want to practice the right things. What's the right things to do is to make sure that you're saving enough money. And even when it comes to, you know, shorty getting her hair done or whatever the case may be, if it costs me $400, hey, make sure that money's aside. You have a certain amount of money aside per month. Because when you get 60, 70, 80 years old, you're probably not going to want to go to the salon that much anyway at that time in your life. So the times that you do want to do that is going to be earlier in your prime. So make sure that you have money away and aside for that. Now, how do you offset that? Is the same thing that you just touched on, Rob, And also what we were just saying in regards to life insurance, right? Because she said invest in an asset, and life insurance is definitely an asset that you want to invest into. But the thing is, it's an early age game. The earlier that you start getting to get a policy, the more better it is going to be for you. Why? Because the more time that money is going to take to accumulate, and the more money that you're going to have during retirement, right? Shout out to Judy. She says 500,000 whole life insurance policy is about $400 per month. Who has that extra cash on hand after paying off your bills? Ooh.
That's a good one. Listen, Judy, everybody got that money. Everybody. To Judy's point, the question is going to become, at what stage are you at in your life with that money? The reality of the situation, it doesn't actually have to be that much money. The younger you start, the less money you have to put in. So that $400 amount, it depends on where you're at. Now, if you're 50 and you just started putting in money into your policy, that number is probably accurate. But if you're 30, 20, not the case. You can get these policies starting as low as $100, $150 a month putting into the policy, even lower depending on your health and all that type of stuff. So the $400 mark, Judy, it really depends on your age and where you're at. But honestly, if you're doing it before 40 years old, 50 years old, that $400 will take you a long way. And the good thing about these policies, Judy, is that you do the buildup. So even if you start at $70 policy a month, $70 a month to put in the policy, and you start young, next year you can bump up to 80. The following year you might be able to bump up to 120. You get that big raise now. You might be able to bump it up to 200. At some point, you might be able to bump it up to that 400 mark, like you said. And so you can always increase and decrease the amount based on where you're at in life. And you can't beat that. And that's cash building up all the time.
And then also when it comes to the retirement, right? That's because the thing is, it is a financial thing, but it can go into different areas of your life. It can go into your lifestyle. How do you want to live your life when you reach those ages? Do you have a plan of what you want to do with your life once you're ready to retire? Do you want to get up and every day and do nothing? Do you want to travel? How do you want to spend the rest of your life? You may have children or grandchildren. Do you want to spend most of your time with them? So how do you want to spend most of your retirement? So then based off of that lifestyle, it'll let it be known whether you may want to downsize you may want to downsize your lifestyle so that it can equate to what you want to do later on, right? Or you vice versa. You may want to say, I want to do everything before it's time for me to go. So I want to make sure that during my retirement, I'm like living my best life. So then you want to make sure that you might want to even Google certain cities when it comes to taxes that pay less in taxes, right? Or certain states, right? So then you want to look at it from all aspects. Based off of like what Rob was saying, as far as your income, if your annual income is $50,000 a year, right? When you get to age 65, is your income still going to be $65,000 a year? Or, based off of the fact that you may only be getting Social Security, pensions is on its way out. So how much are you really going to be bringing in at the time when you reach that retirement age? And you got to say to yourself, if you're not going to be making that same annual income of $50,000 a year, where is that extra supplemental income going to come from? And once again, a part of that is going to come from the life insurance. But then once again, that's just one avenue to go down. Another one is the annuities. You get what I'm saying? So it's different areas or different forms of income that a person is going to have for retirement. It's not just one size fits all. It's going to be a multitude of things.
Yeah, but real quick, Kay, I want to piggyback off of what you said. The key thing you said that is pensions are going away. So what does that mean? A lot of people right now that's in their 60s, they still have pensions. They still have unions. So those people from back then got 401ks because they're part of generational 401ks and a pension and Social Security. So they can retire and have maybe 3, 4, 5 grand to retire on. Now, they don't got no pensions no more. It's only 401ks. So you need something else to help you retire. Because most people only retire with a 401k of like 300,000, 350,000. That ain't going to take you that far. That's going to get you about 7-8 years before you got to move in with your kids and get bossed around, or worse, get tossed in a nursing home. I'm not trying to go out in a nursing home. I'm trying to go out with a bang. My last 10, 15 years of my life. I earned it. I'm trying to take 2 or 3 vacations. I'm trying to go to all the Knicks games, all the Giants games, all that. I'm not trying to sit home and just watch Lifetime all day and watch soap operas. I ain't trying to do that.
Lados is gonna put you in the nursing home. Why?
Nah, it's in the will. If he put me in a nursing home, he ain't seen the money until I die.
Oh my goodness. But that's a real thing, man. The proper planning is the key. And the truth is, a lot of these different supplemental incomes, it's promised, but it's not promised. So what do I mean by that? That there are going to be supplemental incomes, like life insurance ain't going nowhere, annuities ain't going anywhere. 401ks, it's been around for some time. How long is it going to be around? Who knows, right? But if you have it with your job, take advantage of it. Maximize the amount that you're putting in, that you're matching with your employer, so that when that time does come, you do have some, money in your 401k, right? So with the annuity, once again, that gives you guaranteed income for life based off of how that annuity is structured. So it's just so many different ways that, you can utilize the tools that's out there financially to help you, better your life for your retirement. It's only going to work in your favor. And then also keep in mind that physically, you're not going to be the same as you are now. Like, think about it, bro. Like we pretty much 40, right? So, but 20 years ago, you're like, yesterday's price ain't today's price. And that happens physically too, like with our bodies. Like we're still young, but we ain't 18 no more. You get what I'm saying? So, and I say that to say it went by just like that. And because it went by so fast, we had to make sure we put certain things in place for ourselves for when we got to the ages that we're at, where, we still on the right path. And that's what it's about. It's about stability, and it's about the consistency, so that you're not doing too much, but you're not doing too little either. Like you have to remain on a certain path as you're getting older. You should be hitting certain benchmarks. So by the time you reach retirement age, you're right where you need to be.
Yeah. And to your point, I don't agree with you, bro. I'm Benjamin Button. I'm reversing the age. You know what I mean? I'm getting younger.
I hear you.
At least that's what I want to tell myself. You know what I mean?
You keep
to your point. To your point, in all seriousness, no, it's about that. At the end of the day, these policies, no matter what age you are, we can help you get these type of policies and help your life. We waste a lot of money on a lot of different things. I mean, how many times do we eat out? How much times a week do we eat out? Some of those things we could cut back and dump into life insurance. Do you know the average household, 40% of their income is outside food? And out of that 40%, 25% of that is just cooking food. 15% is unnecessary food, meaning going out to restaurants, grabbing ice cream 5 times a week, stopping at McDonald's drive-thru because it's easier. Think about it. If the average person that makes $50 grand a year and they use about $6,000-$7,000 a year on McDonald's or outside food, and you took half of that, plus it's healthier to not eat out, because we all know restaurant food tastes good for a reason. It's mad salt in there. You took half of that and put it into a policy, and when you 50, 60, 70 years old, getting ready to retire, and you got $300,000-$400,000 of money in there, or on a rainy day you can borrow from that policy, what are we really talking about here? There's many ways you can cut back and dump money into the policy. All of this about is moving money around. It's all about allocation, and use the big word, but moving money around, meaning that don't just leave your money in the bank. Leaving your money in the bank, you get 0.0005%. Put it in a life insurance policy. They don't drop below, for most carriers, below 3%, and they cap at 17%. But you want to leave your money in the bank to get 0.0005, and God forbid you overdraft, they charge you 6 overdraft fees for $35 a draft fee, and now you're in a whole $300-$400 on top of get 0.005%. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about?
Yeah, nah, it's real. It says it all takes true discipline with money management as well. It can be done once you change your mindset on what's priority and what's not. And that's key right there. That's everything. And I get it. Live your life. I always tell people, man, live your life. Have fun, live your best life. But once again, you got to pace yourself. Why? Because if you do too much, you're not going to have later on. Like I said earlier, if you spend $1 million, You have a million, you spend a million, you have nothing, right? And as we get further and further into the future, things are not going to get cheaper. They're going to get more and more expensive. So if we don't find ways to save, if we don't find ways to budget, if we don't find ways to invest into certain assets, by default, we're going to fall further and further and further behind the curve. And then it's going to be even harder as we get older to keep up with the standardized day-to-day living because of things like inflation. The cost of living will continue to go up. And so we have to realize that, and we have to make these cutbacks from now, or else we're going to suffer in the long run. Nobody wants to go through that. So that's why it's important that, once again, that we put these things in place so we don't have to go through that, right? There's people who are, like, I've seen like some old people who retire nice. I'm talking about like going to like, different shows, and just on a Wednesday, go to a different talk show, go to see their grandkids on the weekends. I've seen people do different things, actually enjoying their retirement. But then I've also seen people who should have been retired already and sweeping up on aisle 5 in Walmart. My question to you is, which side of the coin do you want to be on?
Well, I'll tell you what kind of side of the coin I want to be on. I want to be on that other coin where, I'm taking care of the grandkids, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not just watching the grandkids, because that's what happens when you're old and you don't got no money. You just watching the grandkids at home, giving them some little toys and chase them around the house. I want to do some outdoor activities with the kids. You know what I mean? I want to go to my Knicks games. I want to go to my Giants games, and I want to take a vacation 2 times a year. You know what I mean? I want to do stupid stuff like you see on TV. I want to drive across the country to California and get an RV. I'm trying to do all that when I retire. You know what I mean?
We do. That's what we do.
Requires money.
Listen, that's on the bucket list. We get the RV. Exactly. Legacy Builders is going on tour. Exactly. We in every city, right? And this is not now. This is like 10, 15, 20 years from now. That's what we're gonna be doing, right?
Road trip. Road trip. And it's a real thing, because being able to survive life, and the key thing that you had said earlier on is having money for a rainy day. Because if 85% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, how do you save for a rainy day? And if inflation is too high, you can't outsave. Let's have a real conversation. We got to have different ways of saving. It's not the old school way, put 5 cents in a pan. Don't get me wrong, I'm still putting 5 cents in the pan. You know what I mean? I still got the penny jar at the house. But the point is, though, it's not just that now. It's getting creative. And when I say that is that, you want to save $10, $20 out your paycheck, but you also want to have a life insurance policy and put the money in there so it's gaining interest. You also want to do little things like, if you for taxes, have them take out extra money out of your paycheck for taxes, so when at the end of the year comes, you can save that money. You have to get creative ways of saving money and always have your money making money. Your money should never be in a mattress, old school. If a house burned down, your money burning down. You know what I mean? If somebody go find that stash, it's gone. You know what I mean? So you always have to put your money into something that's going to make you more money. And when you do that, you can use that money to make you more money. Meaning that if you got $2-3 grand you could pull out of your life insurance policy, now you might be able to invest in your business. Now you can pull money out to put a down payment on a house. Now you can pull money to send your kids off to school. Now you can pull money out to get your kids a car. Now you can pull money out on, you lost your job and you need a little extra money to survive off of. It's so many ways where you gotta learn how to save money, and life insurance is one of the ways to help it. But of course, we do other things, Roths and all that type of stuff, annuities, all that type of stuff, to make sure your money's always making money, and you don't have to have $1 million. Have a 9-to-5 job, a regular job. We could do something, even if it's $10, $20, $30 a month, all you could spare. You're gonna make something happen. But the worst you could do is make nothing happen and just fall further in the hole and wake up every day, I'm always broke and I don't got no money and I don't know what to do. We're telling you what to do. Go to our website, book an appointment, legacybuildersus.com. It's scrolling across the screen so we could talk about it. It's just that simple. Let us do the thinking for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. Yeah, man. Listen, you done said it all. Not that much more to say at this point. But what I would say is next Friday. Next Friday, we have an event coming up, right? We actually have game night coming up next Friday. That's going down in Queens, New York, out here in New York City. So if you're in the New York area, come through, right? 161-15 Rockaway Boulevard. It's going down. We having our game night. We're gonna have food, drinks, obviously some games, dominoes, card games, Uno, you name it, we're gonna play it. So just come out, have a good time with us. Yeah. Any last minute words before we get out of here?
First off, I need you to say that address slower because we know Queens addresses is wild in the first place. Queens is the worst borough in New York City. First off, say that a little bit slower and put it in the chat so people actually know where to come.
I got
Slow down, New Yorker, talking too fast. 161 dash. No,
listen,
they didn't hear you.
I can't help. Listen, I'm a New Yorker at heart. That's just what it is. All right, so 161-15 Rockaway Boulevard, Queens, New York, 11434. Come through.
That's what I'm talking about.
7 p.m. to 12 a.m. Food, drinks, games all evening. Make sure you guys.
That's perfect. And just to piggyback off of it, is just celebrate. We are having a good time. Game night. So you come home from a long week of work. Just gonna come out and just have a good time. And it's on us. Drinks and some food, and on us and a good time. We're just gonna have a good time. Come celebrate with us. Come out, DM us, go to our website. If you want more information, reach out to us. You got all our social media handles. Definitely come out. New York City is always going to be fun. You know what I mean? And Queens is always going to be a good time at the end of the day. So come out, enjoy food and drinks. Skip the other happy hour. Because remember, if you go to happy hour, you got to pay for them drinks. Come to us, you don't got to pay for them drinks. You know what I mean? And now, don't get me wrong. I don't know how to make no real long lionized tea. But you're going to make your own drinks. But at the end of the day, it's on us. So definitely come out.
I'm making the drinks though. Nobody's making their own drink.
Oh yeah, I forgot you used to be a fake bartender back in the day.
No. We're not gonna underplay it. We're not gonna undersell it. I got my mixologist degree. All right, so
that didn't expire like 18 years ago.
It don't expire. It doesn't expire. It don't expire, bro. What are you talking about?
So you can walk into a bar right now talking about you mixing drinks.
Yes, if I want to. I don't want to, but yes, it doesn't expire. I had it since 2007. All right. Yeah.
All right, there we go. There we go.
But once again, guys, thanks for tuning in. Once again, we're here every Monday, 7 p.m. Go to the website, book an appointment. Let's talk about it. And if nothing else, we are legacy builders. We're here to build together to grow forever. And with that being said, you guys have a wonderful Monday night. Peace.